Greetings, Berkshire County, and thank you for joining us on iBerkshiresTV. Jeff Sununian here, and today we have a couple of groups who you might not necessarily put together. We have Linda Cernick, who runs the Northern Berkshire Solid Waste Management District, and we're going to find a new name for that, I think, before we go. I think we should have a youth center contest, maybe, for a nickname or something like that. And we also have Sonia DeSanti, who is it executive director?
Yep.
Of Youth Center Inc. in Cheshire. Sitting next to her is Monica Carpenter, also from the Youth Center. And we have Alex Briggs and Jade Dolkman, both from Adams. And we're going to talk to them in a couple of minutes, but we're going to start with Linda Cernick. First of all, thanks for doing this, Linda. Thank you very much. You know, when I was a kid, the garbage got picked up, and that was that. I didn't really give it a thought. Tell us what the Northern Berkshire Solid Waste Management District does for a dozen towns, or however many towns it is.
Great. Well, thank you, Jeff. Thanks for having us. First of all, I want to let everyone know that we are an essential service. So we've remained, in service throughout COVID, and we will remain in service. We have 13 municipalities that I work with within the district and 13 commissioners. And I also want to bring to attention and thank all of our town officials, our Board of Commissioners, our Department of Public Works, and all of our attendants that work for recycling and for our transfer stations. It takes a team to make this work. And you bring up a good point, Jeff, because people think that you drop off your trash, you put it in a 30-yard container, it goes in a compactor, and it just disappears. Well, there's a lot more to it. And within my role, I work with the municipalities to help with shared services. We all work together to share the different recycling services. My goal is to raise awareness, public awareness on recycling, reduce our trash, which is called refuge, and to increase our recycling. I provide outreach and education not only to the public, but to schools and to Youth Center Inc., and we'll get into that later on today. And we'll talk about the green team. We also just updated our new website, which is great. It's utilized a lot. You can find a lot of information on our website about recycling and about our special collections. And I also am in charge of doing all of the grant submission for the district. Last year, we brought in $35,000. This year, I'm anticipating a 40% increase. And it's Sustainable Materials Recovery Grant Program through Mass DEP. And most of the towns receive recycling dividends grant awards, which can range anywhere from $2,400 up to $6,000. And that money goes back into the communities for the recycling programs. I'm also in the process now of charging up our procurement and our contract. We'll get into that at the end, but we're going into our contract with Casella Waste Systems for 5 years, and that will be for our recycling and our refuge, which is trash. And it's a busy field. It's a fun field. But again, I just want to let everyone know that there's a lot of work that goes into this, and the essential work and the workers that are on the front line should be thanked for this.
It really is something, because even though there might be a household that gets a private company to come pick up their trash, eventually that private company drops it off somewhere. Yes. At a transfer station in whatever town they work out of, the Northern Berkshire Solid Waste Management District hands touch it and eventually gets rid of that trash.
Absolutely. We do work very closely with the small private haulers. Residents can either utilize transfer stations or they can have private haulers. And you're right, Jeff. It has to go to an end facility, which is called a materials recovery facility. And we utilize the facility up in Pownell in Rutland, Vermont with Casella Waste Systems.
It sounds funny, but I am actually fascinated by trash. I always have been, once I learned that it wasn't as simple as I thought. But one of the great things about you being really blessed, it was a legislative act that created the Northern Berkshire Solid Waste Management District. Yes. But one of those things, because the DEP, and here's where the Youth Center comes in, the DEP, and I want to get this right, the Environmental Executive Office of Environmental Affairs has something called the Green Team. This is open to any school, youth program anywhere across the state. And it's meant to, the easy way I describe it is to raise awareness of the environment through things like recycling or composting and stuff like that. But you work with a couple of schools, specifically here in Cheshire and Adams.
Yes.
One of those is the youth center. And we have Sonia and Monica who are going to be up first. How did you guys get involved with the green team? Why did you get involved? And are the kids enjoying it? And we will have a couple kids in a couple seconds.
Yeah, so we've been involved for a few years now. I think at the time, Amber LaFod was our program director, and she had reached out to them. They supply us with curriculum and recycling materials and bins and, you know, all kinds of good things that we can use with the kids to teach them about recycling. So we've been doing this for a few years now, and really just felt it was good for the kids to learn to recycle and why. And so in the future, when they're able to do it on their own or even inform their families on recycling, it was just very important for the environment and our community. And so we've continued to do that. The kids right now during the COVID-19 haven't been able to do it as much, but our staff continue to do all the recycling, so we still do it. And the kids will tell you later, they were even just, we were naming some things before we were going to come on and that we do. And they even came up with things that, you know, I don't think of all the time, but just using some of our materials for their crafts and, you know, but I'll let them talk about that. So yeah, we've been involved with them and in their educational program and enjoy it. The kids enjoy it. And that's what we like to do here at the youth center too, for the community and for the kids that live in the community. We like them to learn how to be productive, well-rounded citizens in their future. So
If
we love it.
somebody, I'm 47 and I've seen my life. I went from recycling absolutely nothing, because that's how we did it, to as much as I possibly can nowadays. And you all are going to get involved in these kids' lives, and it's going to be second nature to them. Sorting and rinsing, and it's to me, it's still sometimes a little bit overwhelming. Monica, what do you see as important lessons that can be learned out of these kids just getting this ingrained into them at a young age?
We just try to teach them why it's important, like who and what can benefit from recycling. Like Sonia said, we do a lot of art projects with them. So if we see something that can be recycled, we try to ask the kids like what else we could do to repurpose it, to reuse it. We team up with Mike and Lenny from the Old Stone Mill. They come in and they run the zero waste management there. So they help us do a lot of recycling too.
Yeah, they have an incredible, that whole, everything they have going on at the Old Stone Mill is really amazing. And for anybody watching, if you've never looked up Youth Center Inc. and what they do, it just goes so far beyond what I think you would think of your normal program. It's an incredible, they're just amazing people down there. They're at Cheshire Elementary now. And hopefully it's going to be a great anchor, because I know they want to do a lot of things with that building. And that's going to be one of the great anchors, and hopefully be there until time immemorial. Hopefully Jade and Alex, who we're going to bring in right now, will maybe be sitting one day where you are, repaying the favor of teaching kids just great life lessons. So Alex and Jade have some projects that they've done that they want to show us, and they're going to take a seat now. And of course, everyone wearing masks and being responsible. Alex Briggs and Jade Dolkman, both from Adams, Massachusetts. Jade, let's start with you. Why don't you show us what you've got and explain what it is?
We made these ornaments that are help show that, to remind people that recycling is important and to recycle as much as they can.
And could you hold up your ornament and tell me what it's made out of?
It's made out of cinnamon and applesauce.
In case people can't see, it's actually a little tiny recycling bin. Alex, did you make these by yourself? Did you make them with your family?
We made them with Linda.
And can you actually eat that?
No, you cannot eat it.
What do you guys like about the youth center?
Well, a lot of things that it's a good place to go to. And we recycle here. We do a lot of things like crafts, and it's a fun place to go to.
And you guys have been out of school now since March, I believe. So it was good news. And I see you holding up the award. Just so people know, as part of the Green Team Initiative, they gave out 44 awards to, I don't know how many different high schools and grades. Any school or youth program was eligible to win these awards. And one was given to the Youth Center in Cheshire, and one was given to, I believe, a 4th grade class up at Hoosick Valley Middle and High School. And those are the only 2 in Berkshire County. You kids won one of the only 2 awards in Berkshire County. So way out there in Boston, Massachusetts, they thought that the 2 projects that you guys did were the best. I think the next closest one was maybe Bernardston or Greenfield, but we both know that's not really Western Mass. That's sort of Central Mass. Talk to us a little bit about all of your teachers at the Youth Center Inc., or all the people that run your programs. Well, I'll tell you what, Alex, we're going to start with you. What do you like best about Mrs. DeSanti?
I like that she helps us recycle the stuff, like get everything in order, to tell all the staff to help us do this, to get the crafts.
She's just a lot of help. And
Yes,
Jade,
she is a lot of help.
You're not off the hook either. What's your favorite thing about Miss Carpenter?
Well, my favorite thing about Miss Carpenter is, well, she is a really cool person.
Ooh.
She, actually before the coronavirus, she was actually my staff in my room, and we recycled in there, did crafts, and we did a lot of stuff. So,
Jade, do you hope to go back to school in the fall? Do you hope to keep going to school at home?
I hope to go back to school and teach that are there.
Could you say that again?
I hope to go back to school and miss my friends and all the teachers that are there.
Oh, I'm having a little trouble hearing you. Try it one more time if you could.
I want to go back to school because I miss all the teachers and students that are there.
Oh, I got you. I think that's what most kids are saying. We all complain that we never want to go to school. But then when someone tells us we can't go, and that's where all our friends are and teachers, we actually hope to go. So maybe at the end of the day, this will be a good thing. You never know.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say to you and everybody at the Youth Center Inc., you did an incredible job, and everybody is very proud. You got one of the 2 awards in all of Berkshire County, and we are very proud of you and very happy to have the Youth Center Inc. right there in Cheshire. And just keep up the great work.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. I hope you go to school in the fall. And we'll go back to Linda now. So Linda, one of 2 awards. Take a few seconds and just talk about the Youth Center.
So, first of all, I'm so proud of Hoosick Valley Middle and High School and the Youth Center Inc. for taking the initiative and recycling and working with the children, because I believe it starts with the youth and they take it home to their families. And I was so proud to know that they both got awards. And I look forward to working with them, doing composting when COVID-19 allows and permits us to move forward with that. So thank you, Sonia. Thank you, Lindsay from Hoosick Valley. Brought tears to my eyes. Very nice. Thank you.
It really is incredible news, and the Youth Center is awesome. But we do have to cover some quote-unquote meat and potatoes here. There was a new contract that was negotiated. It was not easy. Most towns, all towns, are going to see fees rise a little bit, or at least transfer stations. Towns are going to pay more. Whether they choose to pass that on to the consumer is up to them. Take a minute. the contract was almost a no-win situation. I've heard a lot of things like, considering the predicament we went in, it was okay. Go ahead and tell us how that process went.
So we've been in negotiations now. We've been working with Casella Waste Systems and our consultants since December. So it's been a long process. There's a lot that comes into the contract with the municipalities. One, just having our equipment, the containers that we need, in the hauling and the processing. And the hauling fees, we have to adhere to the prevailing wage. We are a municipality, and municipalities have to adhere to the prevailing wage, which is under the trucking, Teamsters. So that was a big factor in our hauling fees, and our processing fees have increased as well. We went back and forth. We worked directly with Casella Waste and Trevor Mance and the Commissioners Subcommittee. And I think we came to an agreement that it's not the best, but it's workable. And like you said, Jeff, everybody's seeing an increase. And we should be signing the contract tomorrow at 4:30. We just got it back from our attorney. Everything looks good. So as of August 1st, we'll be going into the new rates.
And there are all these special dates, usually in the warm weather months. There was just one right here in Adams, bulky waste, where you always see interesting stuff that people bring into these bulky waste.
Yeah,
Give us a few dates coming up that people probably need to know about.
Sure. I do want to make sure everyone does have our website address. I'll give it at the end because you can find this information on there as well. Our next special collection is our household hazardous waste. We don't want to see people throwing chemicals down their drains or outside. That event collection is August 22nd. It will be held in Adams. There's a pre-registration requisite. So you have to call August 3rd or after to pre-register. I will be on site at different transfer stations throughout the county offering pre-reg. You can either email me or call me, but again, it doesn't open till August 3rd. And we do have a limit of 155 households. I do want to let everyone know that this event typically costs the district $15,000. So it comes out of our budget. And, I'm happy to provide this for the communities, and it's for any member resident. And also we have bulky waste coming up in Lanesboro, tentatively September 12th. That does have to get approved through the Lanesboro Board of Selectmen. So it's a tentative date, but I think it'll fly September 12th from 8 to noon in Lanesboro.
And I think that's important to remember. You might see bulky waste in Lanesboro, but it's open to all the member communities.
Any collection, anything that the district offers, any member resident, any town can come to the events. So I want everyone to know that there's no permit required, there's no fees. It's a come on, come on.
Even if you don't have a sticker, you show up and okay.
Yes.
And give out your website also.
Oh yes. So it's of course www.NBSWMD.com. And if you look under special collections, you'll see the different events that we have coming up.
And we'll finish this. We'll go right back to Sonia and Monica. If somebody wants to be involved in the youth center, even volunteering, kids, anything, how are they going to do that? What's the best way to get in touch with you?
Well, our phone number is 743-3550, but we also have a website, and it's youthcenterinc.org.
And I really want to do this. It's called the Northern Berkshire Solid Waste Management District. And for someone who has to type that all the time and types 2.5 fingers, it's not great. So I really want to have, that name needs to stick because it's a legislated name. And we need a nickname for the Northern Berkshire Solid Waste Management District. Please run some sort of contest. I'm sure these kids can think up something better than that.
Yeah. Great idea.
All right, we will. We will.
But congratulations to all of you. We really are proud of the Green Team kids, and I cannot thank you guys enough for joining us. Monica Carpenter, I want to make sure I get this right. Monica Carpenter, Sonia DeSanti, Alex Briggs, Jay Doltman, Linda Cernick. Thank you for joining us on iBerkshiresTV, and thank you all for watching.
Thank you very much, Jeff.
Thank you.